Hey everyone, welcome back to KC3D Sparks. Today we're going to be creating a couple different spike traps. They're going to be pretty easy, but don't worry if you don't have the floor or wall pieces created. We're basically going to remake them anyway. We'll just kind of use these as a sizing guide. So obviously you can just get the numbers off of my screen if you're interested in doing the same exact size. Now the first thing you're going to want to change is go into your scenes tab and change the unit to whatever you'll be comfortable working in. I'm going to be working in inches, and I have the scale of my grid floor set to 1/4 of an inch. Now for our sizing, I do already have an extra piece over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and move this to an empty layer by hitting M and then clicking on the appropriate layer. So we'll go ahead, just click on that layer, and I'm going to hit Shift C to move our cursor back to the center and just kind of move this over a little bit closer to that, so that way it's a little bit easier of a reference. So to start, I wouldn't mind doing the floor piece first of the spike trap. So what I want to do is do Shift A, and we're going to do a plane. Now this plane is set to 6 inches by 6 inches, which is way too large. What we want to do is knock this down to 1 inch. So just do 1 inch, just like that. I'm going to tab into edit mode. I'm going to go into top view and then hit period, so that way we can focus in on it. I'm going to do Control R to add a loop vertically and Control R to add a loop horizontally as well. So now that we have that, basically the reason I'm doing it this way is we're gonna add a mirror modifier. So that way we only have to model one spike. So that way per 1 inch grid floor square space, there will be 4 spikes in there. And so they will be mirrored on each side. And you know, you could make a square that would fit just right here, but it's a little bit easier just to do the 1 inch square so you know it's exactly right. And you don't have to worry about moving the plane up and over here, so that way your origin's down here and all that fun stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead, grab these guys, do X and delete vertices, hop over here to your wrench modifier tab and click on add a mirror modifier. And you'll notice it popped up on the X, but we're also gonna do Y and apply clipping. First, I wanna go ahead and just get the base created. So the thickness of this is 119 or 0.119 inches. So we'll go ahead, tab back into edit mode for this. We'll just grab this outer ring here, hit E to extrude, and we're gonna pull that down. And then I'm gonna tab back out of edit mode because it's not quite the right size. And we'll just do 0.119 inches. Perfect. So that is the right height. The only difference is you'll notice we have kind of a bevel here. So what I want to do is pull this over closer so we can actually look at it easier. Pull it up slightly. Tab back into edit mode for this, and it looks like it's a little bit off, but it's just hard for me to center it perfectly, so we're not going to worry too much about it. We're just going to do Control R around this edge. And then I'm going to hit Z for wireframe view and pull this up to match where that is. Now all we have to do is grab these 3 guys right here. Go into side view. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. So that way we can then just size this in and make it about the same. I'm not going to make it perfect, but just something like that so we get the frame of our 1 inch square. Okay, so now we should be good. I'm just gonna push this away. I'm not gonna hide it, you guys certainly can, but I'm just gonna leave mine as is for now. For our actual spike, I'm gonna go into top view, and for now you'll actually want to go ahead and uncheck clipping, because with this plane selected, we're just gonna hit E to extrude. I'm just going to left click, right click, and then hit S and size that in just a little bit and then reapply clipping. So that way these 2 edges came freely away from those axes. That's actually a little bit smaller than I wanted. We'll probably do more like here. But of course, it just depends on how big you want your spike to be. Now next, I'm going to do E to extrude again, left click, right click, and size in again, because I'm basically making this a frame for the spike, and then the actual spike will be coming out of this square. So I think that looks pretty good. I think that'll be a good size for it. So next I'm going to do Control R And I want to add in 2 loops. So I'm going to just go ahead, alt right click this one, drag that up, and this one, and then I'm going to size this one out now that it's out. And this will look better once we add a subdivision surface modifier, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead, select this face again. I'm going to go into side view this time, just hit E to extrude, pull that up, size it in, just like that. We're going to go ahead, do add modifier, subdivision surface. I like to crank it up to 3. And you want to definitely make sure your subdivision surface is after your mirror. Now I'm going to go ahead and select all of these and do Shift E and just pull them out so that way that is nice and sharp for us. And what we'll want to go ahead and do real quick is add a face here. So what we'll do is we can just do E to extrude and then pull that in. This, Alt M, at center. There's probably a quicker way to do that, but that's okay. I do want to make sure that there only was 1 vertex left. Okay, perfect. I only right clicked once and it lit up orange to go all 3 directions. So there's only 1 vertex there now. So for the spikes, I also want to go ahead and actually alt right click this loop, do Shift E to sharpen that one, go into wireframe view, and alt right click this one, do Shift E and sharpen that one as well. And I actually kind of want this dome a little bit thicker. So we're gonna do, size this in. That looks good. And of course you guys can have the frame however you want. I'm kind of trying to make mine a little bit dramatic so that way when I print it out it is actually noticeable. I might even add 1 more loop here and pull it up and out a little bit more. That looks cool. And if you wanted this to be even more dramatic, you could certainly grab these, E to extrude, Alt M at center, and pull that up to be a little bit more pointy, which I think I like that. I'm gonna size this. So there is one 1-inch square of our grid floor. So I'm just gonna tab out of edit mode. I'm gonna duplicate that in case if I ever wanna go back and change it. So I'm just gonna hide the original. And for our copy, we're gonna go ahead and apply the mirror and then apply our subdivision surface. Now with that, what I want to do is do add modifier and do an array. And with the array, you can essentially make any kind of shape you want. So once you have your base form, you can do, I don't know, a strip of 5 or 10, whatever you can actually print. Or you could do a square. I'm going to be doing another 4 square like this, but you guys can do basically whatever shape you want. But I'm going to do an array across the X. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to add another modifier of array that will be 0 for X and 1 for Y. So we get our 4 square again, but we're going to want to make sure we have merge checked. And I like to increase the distance a little bit so that way I make sure it does connect properly. Because right now, if we tab into edit mode, you can still do edits before you apply your array modifier. Now, the only thing is, once we apply this, we'll probably have to go in and possibly delete some of the inner faces, but that should be okay. What we're going to do is just go ahead and hit apply to both of these and then check out our mesh. So let's see if we have to delete anything and make sure that everything is connected properly. So yes, perfect. So right here on our seam, it is connected between the two. Awesome. It does have those inner faces though. So easy way to go ahead and take care of that is I'm just going to do side view. I'm going to hide that and that so we can zoom in a little bit easier. I'm going to switch to face select. Make sure nothing is selected. Go ahead and grab all the faces here. And we're going to do the same along the back. All these faces. Now, of course that does grab, oh, and we missed the bottom. We just don't want to grab any of the actual bottom pieces, so we should be able to do that. There we go. Okay, so now that we have the inner faces selected, we can go ahead and deselect all the outer ones. So I'm just going to do B and hold shift to deselect these guys. So make sure you're zoomed in far enough so everything gets selected. And then you can see you have that X on the inside. We can just do X and delete those faces, and you're all set. You definitely don't want any of those extra faces in there, or else it could cause issues for your print later on. So now that that is all fixed, we have our floor piece. So real quick, before we move on to the wall piece, I want to go ahead, wrong button, do M to move it to our first layer to make sure it still fits properly like I'm thinking it. Let's go ahead, move it over here. Now these are supposed to be just kind of interchangeable with our floors pieces, so I'm just going to scooch this one over. Now typically I probably wouldn't put it here, but just as an example of how it would fit. Oh, and it's actually pretty close. Let's move it down a smidge. Actually, that looks pretty cool. I might switch it with this one though. Might make more sense in front of a hallway. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty neat. I mean, it's super simple, but it gets the point across. No pun intended. But anyway, now that we have that created, I'm just gonna move this back because now we can do a wall. So I'll put it back here once we're done. But we want to do a wall piece. So I'm gonna grab one of these, do Shift D, and move that to that layer as well. Because what we can do is, now that this is actually, let's leave that in that spot. We're gonna Shift D and duplicate this. So that way this can be transformed into our wall piece. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move this back. So it's back on our first layer and already set into place as our spike trap. Awesome. Well, we create our wall. Now, basically, all I really have to do is I'm gonna just go into side view, hit rotate 90 degrees, but I want it to go the other way, so I'm just gonna hit the minus sign and hit enter. Now I'm gonna use this kind of to line it up. Z for wireframe view, so we have it about there, and our walls are a little bit thicker because we have the stones popping out. But for this, with our spikes, we'll just go ahead and line it up with our main frame essentially. You'll notice that those are the same. And then with our floor piece, go ahead and move that back so it matches our other floor piece. Awesome. And to line it up perfectly, you can even line them up right over our wall piece here. I bring this over a little bit. It's just nice to have a perfect grid. That way you don't have to worry about anything being mismatched or strange. I am now noticing that we have a few faces missing here. So I am gonna fix that real quick, which is really easy. If you accidentally delete any of your stuff, all you have to do is grab your extra edges here where it's missing the face and just hit F to face that off. That's funny. Gonna want to fix that in the other one as well. So I'll just do that afterward. So while we're in edit mode, we can go ahead and create this joint, which may sound harder than it actually is. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do vertex select mode, and I'm gonna make sure nothing is selected. Border select this bottom right here. We're just gonna do E to extrude and pull that down. so it matches our other face here. I'm just gonna go ahead and hide our floor piece or our castle wall piece while we get this all situated. Now we want to make sure, oops, that this is lined up perfectly. And now what we want to go ahead and do is do a Control R and put one about right where this is as well. Do border select for this here. Do E to extrude and pull that out just so it starts to overlap slightly. You can make sure that it's a good fit, which it looks pretty good to me. Now, of course, if you want to do anything else, you could certainly do that beforehand, but all I want to do now is do add modifier, Boolean, union. Actually, before we do this, we're just going to select both, do Control A, rotation scale, and location. Okay, and then we'll go ahead, select our castle tile, do apply, hide our castle tile. So it's still there. Let's go ahead and tab into edit mode and make sure that it connected properly, which it looks like it did. I mean, it's not perfect. Oh, that's interesting. I should just merge these two together. So there will be, you know, it's possible that there will be some wonky things going on, but nothing you can't fix. Like this guy is a little bit off center. We're just gonna go ahead and bring these two guys together. Alt M at center. Perfect. Awesome. There's probably a cleaner way to do it, but for the fast and easy way, we'll just do it this way. So I'm gonna rename this to spike wall. Oops, my caps lock is on. But it is 2 inches. Perfect. So now we'll go ahead, move this to our other layer and see how it looks. You'll notice that the location is set weird, so I'm just gonna pop this open with T again, set origin to geometry. That way it's a little easier, a little bit easier to move around. So this, let's just put back here for now. Grab this wall, push that back. Right about there. Awesome. That looks pretty intimidating. I don't know about you, but that looks scary. So if they got like their puzzle pieces or something wrong, these could be pushed out if they're supposed to stand here or whatever. Or what would probably be cooler is if you did it on each side and it ended up being a hallway piece instead. That would probably be much cooler. But I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick and easy tutorial. If you have any recommendations or suggestions or requests for next time, just let me know. I hope you all have an excellent week, and I do try to post as much as I can all of my prints on Instagram, and if you ever need quickest help, I'll have my Discord linked below so that way you guys can join and ask freely questions in there on the specific text channel. But other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week.